can see behind us, we got a new project. We're gonna go with Ranger Exchanger. So the gist of this project is it's a friend of ours, it's his truck, and he wants to get rid of it. He's got a lot of stuff going on, how find a new house, new baby, projects, other stuff. So we are gonna just get it fixed up and sold for him. And so we're going to get it exchanged as fast as possible. A couple things that need to get hit on it. Brakes are super soft, radio doesn't work, we got some rusty bumpers, and there's a couple other things along the way. So you get to follow along, we'll do a few little projects on it, get it cleaned up, and hopefully good to go from there. So, alright, so I'll do a quick little walk around for you guys here. So around the front you can see it's obviously this really sweet fleet white. It needs a new bumper, so we're going to try to find something to fix that. It's got some crusty wheels. You can see these ones don't have their lug nuts on, but they're still on the vehicle, and that's because they're rusted on. So that is gonna slowly being tackled right now. We have some PB Blaster on those. The other side came off, which is good news. So we got on the side here, we've got plastic bed liner. This is a nice option. It's obviously protected the bed well. We even have a little bit of nature growing in here from it sitting for so long. We have a little bit of crustiness on the corners here, there and there. Also, this wheel stuck on. You can tell the drums are not really rubbing at all, so those need to be adjusted. Probably need new wheel cylinders too, which I'm guessing is why the brakes are super soft. And as we go around the back here, we got, flex fuel. How about that? That probably cost extra. We got this sweet window tint in the back that we're going to leave, but the not so sweet window tint here and here, we're going to have that go. We'll see if I left it unlocked and we can do a grand tour of the inside if so. Alright, let's try that again. Oh, there we go. We've got deluxe seatage in here. We'll get this all cleaned up. One of the cool things about this truck is that it's only 97,000 miles, which I'm sure you can not see, but that's true. We have a bonus radio in here I had from another vehicle. I did decide to get a touchscreen, so hopefully that works. We'll get this guy pulled out and replaced. And then we've got a little bit of storage space back here, which is nice. You can keep your junk back there, put a subwoofer, whatever cool things you'd like to do. So yeah, this thing's pretty cozy. It drives really smooth, runs really nice. It's a 3-liter V6, rear-wheel drive, and you know, everything works on it. Just needs a little bit of love. The shift cable too is a little tight, so we're gonna just fix on that as well. But once that's all done, it should be smooth, and someone should be really happy to get something with less than 100,000 miles on it for a pretty good price. So. So you may have got bored during that time lapse, but pretty much what happened was it's been soaking in PB Blaster, wasn't doing anything. Beat on it a bunch, wasn't doing anything. Went for the tried and true method of putting the jack with a piece of wood on the back side of the wheel, putting some pressure on that, giving the rim a little bit of heat, not too much to where I'm going to damage anything in the drum, and then kicking it till it falls off. And that worked on this one. The front I'm probably not going to do that on because it has wheel bearings and seals that are a little bit more temperature sensitive, so we're just going to have to hit and wait and PB blast and hit and wait. So that's what we're going to do on the front. So you may be noticing the truck moved. The reason for that is this left front wheel, or right front wheel, driver's side or passenger side front wheel here, would not come off with the hammer or anything else. So what I did was kind of older trick. I think a lot of mechanics know this one. You just put it in, put the lug nuts on finger tight, and then do a couple sharp turns, and you'll hear it pop when it breaks free. And once that happens, you can snug up the lug nuts some more and then get back home. And from there you can get your wheel off. So that's what's going to happen next. Okay, to start, just to assess what's going on here, we are gonna just break off the bleeder screw here and make sure that we can actually get this guy off and loose to bleed all the brakes. They have been done at some point, I think in the last 2 or 3 years, but we'll see. I like to use a socket just because you get 6 points on all sides and you're less likely to mar the bleeder screw when you're taking it out. All we're doing here is just cracking it to make sure we can move it. Obviously, when you are bleeding it, typically you'll have a hose on here and you'll use a wrench, open-end wrench or line wrench to crank around. So we'll see if we get lucky here. Then the free one that we found in the back of the car at the junkyard. All right, so good news is that one is free. So we'll tighten it up. And go check the other side. Great, this guy is also moving freely, which is a good sign. We got a little fluid coming out too. Good. Okay, so the fronts is just going to be easy as bleeding. The pads, like you may or may not be able to see, let me give you some light. Have a little bit of life left in them. They're not brand new, but they'll get the job done. You can see probably in there maybe a little bit. Got a little bit of life left on each side. They seem to be wearing fairly evenly too, to where it doesn't concern me that one of the like the slides are gummed up and it's not opening or closing. So the front should be fairly easy, which is good news. We did replace this line up here about 2 or 3 years ago because it had rotted out, so that's been done already and they were bled at that time. So this is good, and we'll jump to the back and see what's going on inside the drums. Okay, so if your car is anything like this one, it's going to be super rusty. And if it's super rusty, penetrating oil and big hammer didn't work, so we had to use really big hammer and just tap around the outside of the studs here, and it came loose against this well. And obviously you want to make sure your parking brake's off before you do this too. But looking here, this guy isn't awful. The shoes are probably at 30%. They don't have a lot left, but they are not crumbled, indicating a leak. This is pretty dry rotted here. I'm gonna say this wheel cylinder is probably shot, and we will get to the other side next. Let me show you what we're looking at here. So right in the top of this wheel cylinder here, it's all crusty and rusted and whatever. Obviously that's a lot of brake dust and things building up on there, but this guy's not doing anything when we brake, so we will hopefully see if we can fix that here. Okay, well, we were off camera. I did go ahead and knock this drum off the same way I got the other side off. You will probably notice that this guy is completely toast. There's no pad on this side at all, or on this shoe. The springs are broken off inside here, self-adjusting springs. So this guy's gonna get a complete overhaul. Assuming my parts get here soon, we will do the shoes and everything. Just for now, we're gonna get it all taken apart at least, and I'll let you watch that, and then we'll go ahead and do the other side. Also important, if you are doing this yourself, just go ahead and take a lot of pictures, just so you know where everything is supposed to go, at least before it all falls apart. So. All right, there's an interesting note I want to make sure you guys are aware of when you're doing these. There's these little, I think they're called, I can't remember, links or something like that. Brake shoe links or brake cup or whatever. They go into the end of this wheel cylinder. If you look this up in AutoZone, you get the wrong part. So I had to just do some picture looking and call around, and it turns out Advance had the right part. So I went over there and picked it up. All you do to get this guy out is take your 2 bolts out first. Obviously make sure that you can break free your connector here. We've already done that, so we know that'll come out. So you just want to quickly change this out, pop the guy off the front, put the new one in, and then connect this again. You don't want to let too much air into the system if you can avoid it. So that's what we're gonna do next. Okay, so I'll give you a quick overview. Now it's all back together. The way I did it is I put the rearward shoe on first. Just use this connector. You push the spring down and turn this little coin 90 degrees and it locks it in place. Once that was in, I put the little horseshoe shaped deal here that guides the e-brake cable and the yellow spring on. So I ran the e-brake cable down. I put this adjuster in here, and obviously that guy and these guys. So this whole deal is all hooked up on the left side pretty much, and then you just have this red spring under here dangling, and that needs to go behind your adjuster, your brake adjuster, which again, very hard to see. And then with this adjuster, the way this guy works, some of you probably know this, is as you brake, this thing will kick up and down and spread this guy some more. This can also be done manually just through this access hole in the back here, which is what we'll do once we have the drums on. But to get the drums on too, when I do get them in the mail, I will just slide them on. If they're loose, come back, click this guy a little bit, try again. And I just want to be kind of snug as I slide them on here, because there's no fluid in this new cylinder or anything yet. So once I have all that stuff done and together, it should be good to go. So we're going to do the So as you just saw there, not too bad to put back together. I did get this little tool. This guy from the AutoZone, it's pretty much useless for everything except for this part of the tool here that allows you to basically hook under a spring and then pop the spring over the end. It's like a screwdriver, but it's got like a little claw at the end, which makes it a little bit better to for grabbing the end of the nub. But quick close-up on what's done. So new retainers, new springs, e-brake cable, all that stuff's done. So we are just waiting for our drums to come in the mail. Once we get those, we'll put them on, adjust the shoes out, and then bleed the brakes. As you can see, we've got our new drums here. One of the, took a lot of tries obviously to get the right ones, but that's just par for the course here. So one thing I always like to do before I put any drums on is you'll feel when you take them out, they're covered in oil so they don't completely rust out before you even get them. So we'll just go ahead and spritz these out with a little brake clean and wipe them out. Make sure we get as much oil out of here as we can. As you can tell, the scrappers are here in the background. They're extremely nice trucks. So you can kind of see we did get a little bit of oil off of there, so this should help stopping surface not have any issues. The other thing we're going to do with the drums too is once we put them on, we want this guy, we're going to adjust this guy little by little until the drum is hard to slide over. So that's the goal. Right now I'm pretty sure it's going to be way easy to slide over because I haven't really done anything to it. But I could be wrong. Yeah, it's already... That's it. Again, like you can see, I already have anti-seize in the center here. This part likes to rust to the drum, so we just want to make sure got some on there beforehand. So that guy's on all the way. Like I said, it's, you try to turn it, there's some resistance. It doesn't want to turn easily. Like the last one is spinning freely. So that's what we're going for. We'll get the other side on. Also, there's a little plug that goes in the back. Don't forget to put that on. Okay, so we're gonna bleed brakes next. It's a fairly simple thing. What we're doing is on the back side here. Typically, I like to get like a little vinyl hose or something like that. And then I like to have it go uphill before it comes back down and drains into the pan, because this way it allows this to fill with fluid up to a certain level, and I can see air bubbles coming out of the lines as I'm doing this. And all you need, typically you just want one other person to pump the brake for you, but what you do is you have them push the brake down to the floor. You know, usually they pump it once and then push it down, or pump it 1, 2, 3. There's a lot of ways people like to do it. Hold it down on the floor, and then you will open this bleeder valve here. You'll let the fluid and the air come out, and then you'll close it. And then you'll let them take their foot off, and then pump it down again, and then you do the same thing. And when you stop seeing bubbles come out of here, and you know, if you're trying to do the whole system, all the old brown fluid, and you start seeing the clear brake fluid come through, that's when you know you're done. You also want to start on the farthest corner away from the brake reservoir typically. So for us in this case, the brake reservoir is in the front left of the vehicle, and we are in the back right now, and we'll start here, we'll go there, and then we'll go there, and then we'll do the front left last. And that is how you do that. Okay, so as you can see, the brakes have been all bled. I guess you can't really see that. Put the little caps back on here on top. You want to make sure you put those on so they don't rust. Obviously you want to fill your fluid up as you go too. This is an important step. Make sure you don't get below the bottom of that, because then you start pumping air back in and have to start over, which isn't good. So put our cap back on here, and that guy is donezo. So we got all these guys. We're gonna put the wheels and tires back on, put her back on the ground, and see how she feels. Also, important note, I did anti-seize all of these surfaces, so I don't have to spend so much time with a hammer and whatever next time getting them back off. So that's it. Enjoy.